Welcome to This Week in East Brunswick. Today we celebrate Senior Day with the East Brunswick High School field hockey team as the senior players and managers were recognized before a home game against the South Brunswick Vikings. Then we drop in on Playhouse 22 and speak with the director about the upcoming production of Frost Nixon that's running now through October 23rd on weekends. St. Mary's Coptic Orthodox Church held the annual Egyptian Festival, and we stopped by to check out all the activities taking place, from tours of the church to bounce houses and carnival games, and of course, the delicious food. We welcome two of East Brunswick's young entrepreneurs to the studio as they discuss their study assistance app called Knowt. All this, plus we have information about a special ghost tour of the Old Bridge Historic District taking place each Saturday in October. So stay with us. This Week in East Brunswick starts now. The East Brunswick Bears field hockey team recently held senior night before a home game against the South Brunswick Vikings. The senior players and managers were recognized for their contributions to the program in an on-field ceremony before the game. The Bears and Vikings battled in a tough defensive showdown as the game was a stalemate through regulation, holding at 0-0. The Vikings found the goal in overtime for the win, but the Bears played hard throughout and will look for revenge in either the conference or state tournament postseason play. Let's check out some of the highlights from the game. And now let's meet the senior players and managers of the 2016 East Brunswick High School field hockey team. Congratulations to all the seniors.
Frost Nixon is a play that's based on the actual interviews between British talk show host David Frost and former President Richard Nixon from the 1970s. And they go really in depth into how the behind the scenes of the interviews, how the interviews came to be, because it's kind of like a real underdog story. Because imagine, you have this talk show host that no one really takes seriously, but he wants to kind of prove his journalistic integrity, and no one's really going for it. And then he goes in, and this is actually it's one of the most successful interview broadcasts of the day, and this is just the story of how those interviews came to be.
Good evening. This is the 37th time I've spoken to you from this office, where so many important decisions have been made that shaped the history of our nation. Each time I have done so to discuss with you a matter I believe affected national interest. I shall resign the presidency effective at noon tomorrow.
With your request for an interview, and to say, after having discussed it, my client is not necessarily opposed to the idea.
Really? That's terrific news.
Well, before you come up with any numbers, I should tell you that we already have $350,000 on the table from Mike Wallace and CBS.
Always give your best. Never be discouraged. Never be petty. And always remember, others may hate you, but those that hate you don't win unless you hate them. And then you destroy yourself. What perhaps very few people understand is that the taping system in the White House was set up by my predecessor, President Johnson, partly to avoid the necessity of having a secretary at every meeting, and partly to ensure there was a record kept of every verbal agreement, regardless of how off the cuff or casual. Initially, upon entering the White House, I insisted on dismantling the system.
The plot is, well, it basically follows the story of how Frost raised the money to get the interviews, the goings-on when they were actually taping, and there's a whole David and Goliath thing going on between David Frost and Richard Nixon, and it's sort of like almost like a verbal boxing match.
Righteous. You know as well as I do that 60% of what Nixon did in office was right, and 30% might have been wrong, but he thought it was right at the time.
That still leaves 10% where he was doing the wrong thing and he knew it.
I will guarantee you, if you screw us on the 60%, I will ruin you if it takes the rest of my life.
And I guarantee you, if you stonewall us on the rest, I'll return the compliment.
And it goes on to give Richard Nixon the trial that he never had.
And 5, 4, 3.
Mr. President, you came to office promising peace, but no sooner did you step into the White House than U.S. involvement in Vietnam deepened. The war was prolonged with calamitous consequences. Did you feel that you'd betrayed the people that had elected you?
It looked to me that the reasons for being in Vietnam were not adequately understood by the American people. This little girl, she couldn't have been more than 16, broke through the line of people there, came up to me and spat in my face. She just covered my face in spit. And she says, "You are a monster." Well, of course I wiped the spit off and I went inside and I gave my speech. But all the time I kept thinking, she was such a pretty girl, but the war had made her so ugly.
This is actually kind of an experimental space for the theater, because normally we do the shows on the stage in the main auditorium, but as you can see, we're in the community room right now, which we have been able to transform into a sort of black box theater, and we're planning to do this for future On the Edge shows, and this is kind of the first go-around on that, and it's coming along pretty well, so everyone should come check it out.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm over here at St. Mary's Coptic Church on Riva Avenue in celebration of the annual festival that occurs here within the congregation. I was invited. I'm very excited to be here because what happens is this is a celebration of culture, heritage, history, and as you can see from behind me, food as well. And I'm very excited to be here because what the Egyptian Coptic community has to offer is to share with the greater community, that is East Brunswick, as well as neighboring towns, what their culture is all about. And in today's world in which diversity is one of the most important pieces, everyone can learn something by coming to a festival like this. So once again, I'm proud, I'm honored to be here at St. Mary's Coptic Church at their annual festival.
My name is Yusuf Bishay, and this year I am the coordinator of the security organization and also the parking attendants. This year we are having a lot of kids, and it'd be a mess if we did not manage it correctly. We have a lot of little kids from ages 14 to 25, and everyone's doing something. I have 14-year-olds helping with security, and I have 14-year-olds helping making mango juice. So everyone has a role today, and if you can come next year, I know you guys are going to have fun.
I'm in charge of the kids corridor that you see behind us. This is actually a very exciting part of the Ma'arad. You can see all these rides and all these attractions. This is all for your enjoyment, not to take away from the church, but to just add on to the beautiful life that is St. Mary's Coptic Orthodox Church.
I came to this country in 2007, so in 2007 was the first year I helped out with this. Every year it's like a new adventure. We liked our guests to see the beauty of our community and to show them the community that we have in East Brunswick.
This would be my 10th year doing the festival at Kids Corner, actually. It's actually gone through a lot of changes. Kids Corner used to start out in the basement of the church where people would come downstairs just for candy. Now, as you can see all behind me, you have all these rides, all this candy, all this excitement happening after just 10 short years. It's been a blessing. Thank God for everything.
From St. Mary's Coptic Orthodox Church, I hope everyone comes next year, and thank you for all those who came this year. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have not tried Egyptian food, you should really try it. You're missing out.
My name is Father Mark Kahana. I've been serving here in St. Mary Coptic Orthodox Church since November 2005. Today we're actually celebrating the 39th anniversary of our festival. Our main goal of the festival, number one, it's a way to gather the church as one family. As you see here, all the youth, high school, college, graduate, little kids, we all work together to do something to attract the community, the people around us to come and celebrate with us this beautiful Egyptian festival. And also they can see our church and who we are. In the festival, one of the main highlights actually when you come here, first thing you can go take a tour to the church. We have all the high schoolers actually, they give a tour to the church. Also they give you introduction about the Coptic Orthodox Church and who we are. And then following that, you can come around and there is a lot of games, a lot of food. Also, there's a lot of activities for kids, high school, college, and graduate. Normally, it's the first week of October, and we always do a lot of advertisement around East Brunswick.
Today, I am giving tours to the people, teaching them about our church and our faith. When someone comes to our church to take a tour, we take them around the main church. We take them to the baptism room. In the main church, we talk to them about the altar and what a priest would wear in the liturgy, and we would talk to them about the different languages that we use in the liturgy.
The contributions to our community add to our diverse community, one that is better positioned to succeed in our globalized world. Our world today is becoming more and more interconnected. The congregation of St. Mary's is living, promoting, and fostering day-to-day cultural consideration in our lives with today's festival. So, as the mayor of our community, let me welcome everyone to this two-day festival that promotes heritage, custom, faith, and history. Enjoy the day.
Hello, I'm Dietrich Murphy in the studio with This Week in East Brunswick, and today we'll discuss the newly created Knowt App by Abhi Pandal and Daniel Like. So, what is the Knowt App?
So what Knowt does is it takes your notes and it quizzes you on them. So it generates multiple choice questions, true or false questions, fill in the blank questions, things like that.
And how'd you guys get the idea?
I came up with the idea about a year ago, and I started working on the app. And then Abik joined me in June to help expand it and things like that.
It was a very fascinating thing. When I saw it at first, I was kind of blown away. So it was quite the invention. Yeah.
And how does the app turn your notes into questions and answers?
Well, what it does is basically it finds little clues in the words and sentences in your notes, and it makes lots of educated guesses about how it can make questions from that. And then if you have a lot of educated guesses, eventually it can get pretty close to being accurate. I mean, there are a lot of things that go on behind the scenes, but in the end, it's just the computer trying to figure out little clues about the words.
It's very complex. Dan mentioned it, like the algorithm is really complex, how it works, but it's taking your notes and just basically making those guesses and kind of giving you a question on those.
What are you guys' hope for this app?
Well, in the future, we will monetize it, but the base functionality, generating quizzes from your notes, is always going to be free.
Yeah.
Just extra features on the side might require money, like for example, maybe buying quizzes made by professionals.
Mm-hmm. So like, I mean, we don't know where exactly it's gonna go. Okay, we're not that smart. But what I can tell you is we really want the app to be used by a lot of people because we think that it's something really nice. Like when I first saw it, I knew it was gonna be something that changed how we study, right? So what we want is for more people to use it. If that is through another company buying Knowt, or if that's through us growing, I mean, we're going to take whatever path necessary. Mm-hmm. We're really interested to see where it goes. It's kind of the fun part about doing something like this, that every day something changes and you don't know where you're going. And for people like us, it's a thrill, kind of. It's been a lot of fun. So.
And does this app target all age ranges, or is more going towards teenagers?
Well, it could be used by middle schoolers, possibly even elementary schoolers, high schoolers, college students. It really, the quality, I mean, the difficulty of the questions depends on the difficulty of your notes, not on the app itself. Mm. So everyone can use it to study, and I think it's a useful tool for people of many ages.
Yeah. So I mean, initially, right now, the quality of the level, the quality of the questions, it's kind of based off of how well your notes are. So right now, if your notes are average, that would target towards a middle school audience, right? Middle school, elementary school, because that's where the question level is. But I mean, the more advanced notes you put in, and the better the algorithm gets, we're gonna be targeting more college students too. And I mean, anybody who wants to learn, really, it's a quizzing app, right? So you can potentially put in an article into the app and quiz yourself on it, how much you're actually like retaining or learning. So that's kind of an interesting aspect of it.
Also, another interesting aspect of the app is that it gives you the best questions first, and it generates multiple quizzes that with the best first and so on. Mm-hmm. And so users can see the best questions from their notes first, and it really helps them learn better. I've noticed that I can put things in that really aren't in a coherent format at all. Like, I just once tried to put in an assignment from 7th grade, and it actually generated some interesting questions.
So how did you guys get involved with computer science?
Well, I first actually got involved towards the end of 6th grade, when I think my mom was a programmer, and I thought it might be interesting to try it out. So I went online, and I got interested in it, just because of the fact that I could create so much, just a few little things. And ever since then, I've been learning new programming languages and using it to make new things like Knowt.
I think when I really got involved with programming was when I was in like the 6th or 7th grade. I was working on a couple websites, and I got interested in Java also. And then obviously in East Brunswick High School, there's a competitive environment. So to be different, it's a good thing. So Mr. Cohen, who works as a computer science teacher, he's been a huge help for us and support.
I've noticed as of now, it's only for the Android system. Will you guys be expanding on it soon?
So when I actually saw the Knowt app at first, I was like, yo, this has to be on like all the platforms, right? I mean, obviously, we can't expand on everything because it takes time to make a good quality, like an app. So right now, what we're working on currently is an iOS platform. So that's going to be rolling out sometime next month, or actually this month. And we're trying to nail a better UI and a better interface for everybody to like get the advantages of Knowt. Eventually, we will be going to a web platform. Actually, recently, yesterday, we added Drive support. So now you can type your notes on the computer, add it to Google Drive, and import directly onto the app. So it makes it potentially even more useful. So the web platform is going to be a more step up from that. So you can just directly take the quizzes on the web. And
another feature I forgot to mention is that you can also print your quizzes. So if you want to give a quiz to someone else that you made, you can print it out.
Can you also pass quizzes on to people digitally?
Yeah, you can actually share quizzes. What it does is, if you share a quiz, it generates a file, and you can email that file to someone else, who can then open it, and the quiz will show up.
I mean, eventually we want to move to a point where people can challenge other friends on quizzes, so that it makes it more involved, like for people, and it makes quizzing more fun. So we hope to get there soon.
And where can people find information about this app?
Well, you could go to getknowt.com. We have a really good site there that shows all the features and all the major quiz formats. Like we have multiple choice, true and false, open-ended, matching, fill in the blank. And then there's also a video there that was made by Kevin Lin. He worked really hard on that. So it showcases our whole advantages of our app, and we really hope you check it out.
You can also go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/getknowt.
Thank you, Beek and Daniel, for coming.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching This Week in East Brunswick. I'm Dietrich Murphy. Hope to see you next week, and check out the Knowt app and getknowt.com.
Knowt. Know your notes.
October is here again, and with it comes the second annual Ghost Tour of the Old Bridge Village section of East Brunswick Township. Occurring every Saturday evening during the month of October, residents and visitors will be led on a tour of this historic little section of East Brunswick that was established in the late 1600s. And during the course of the last 400 years, that little village has played an important part of our township. But more than just history, there are also spiritual elements that remain in that little community. There are ghost stories, tales of murder, tales of missing individuals, and those will be just some of the highlights of the homes and the streetscapes that we'll be visiting. The tours begin at 7:30 each Saturday evening in October. The cost per person is $8, and it's stroller-friendly and wheelchair-friendly. A portion of the proceeds will benefit the Crandall Kosman American Legion Post. The tours are held at 7:30 on every Saturday evening in October, meeting at the corner of Kosman Street and Old Bridge Turnpike. For more information, please look at East Brunswick Ghost Tour on Facebook. We hope to see you there and enjoy this unique slice of our town's amazing history. Thank you.